I feel like my January and February, I read one book in particular, and then I didn't know what to do with my life.
Alex Farm was, like, kind of a huge void to fill.
Yeah. I'm still finding I can't find anything that I want to read right now, and it's really throwing off this, but it doesn't mean I haven't read books I, don't like. I just am losing my passion right now, and I feel sad about that.
I should have, like, front loaded a little more, but I think it helps that I've been reading non-romantasy books around it.
Yeah, I did not do that to myself, and that's part of the problem. My first goal for March, I literally have the books sitting out that I'm making myself read for March, so I just didn't wanna read anything, and I was done with House of Devils and have no more to read until Kayla hasn't come out, so this is where I'm at.
Hell, do you just wanna talk about that one fast first?
Yeah. Okay, so, um, speaking of the House of Devils, I read the 2nd and 3rd book in January and February after taking a little bit of a break from the first one, and I would say of the 2, I absolutely loved Are You Okay?
I was looking at your tropes that you listed on the 3rd one, and
Oh,
it's, like,
yeah.
3 of my favorites.
I listed them specifically for you, but obviously, as you could tell, the 3rd one, I absolutely ate up. I loved so this one, they actually have more of multiple different, guys' point of views, and they're all, of course, amazing in different ways. So really, the first book focuses more on, one relationship. You get a couple of different viewpoints, but this 3rd book was just so good in how they brought in the different characters, and it's not just to bring them in, it helps with, the overall plot that's happening. I and I can't tell you if this is all one person or multiple in terms of it, but there's, the forbidden love aspect, there's bodyguard. I swear all these men are touch her and die, which I'm a sucker
The
for.
best.
Yeah, I'm like, I could eat these up, and I need the rest of them to be done, but I don't have that, so now I'm just sitting here.
So, with the multiple POVs, is it still, like, the series is one big story and it's just kinda, like, different or is it, like
Yeah, it's one big
okay.
story. Obviously, they have their side piece that stories that are
Mhm.
happening within it, but there's one larger story that's happening,
Right.
and so it does make sense to have these different point of
Mhm.
views,
Kind
especially on
of
where they
so
were in the
fun.
journey in this book. It was like they had to be in different places, and then you also are getting introduced to new people because it's going to, different parts of the world. So I definitely got a new book boyfriend out of it because one of
Even
the
from the first one?
yeah,
Oh,
I love Darian, but he has a cousin who I absolutely adore as well, so he becomes a big character in this. Um, and this is, a lot of paranormal, so
mhm.
I really like the paranormal aspect of this
Yeah.
book too because it's kinda like there's, alternate parts of the world, and all of them make sense for what they are. Obviously, there's a lot of, werewolf and vampire and that type of thing, but then it goes beyond that. And then there's, magic elements, but it's very, a dark world. Um, but yeah, Darian is just, he's top tier. He's not Toast, but he's up there. Um, and he absolutely adores his, female lead, but yeah, there is some, slow burn in this one too, which I know is can be annoying, but it's for the right reasons, so I didn't even really, think about it.
I don't hate slow burn, it just kind of depends, like, how slow it is. Like, if
Yeah.
it starts to feel like it's unnecessarily dragging out is usually more when I hit a wall with it, 'cause it's like,
Right.
okay, like, now you're purposefully being obtuse. But
Yeah.
if it's, like, done well and, like, serves a purpose, I usually can, like, get behind it because then the payoff is just, like, that much bigger. So I never, like write it off right away. Like, I will still read a slow burn, and then once I'm done, I will, like, either bang my head against a wall or be like, "That was great."
Well, and the nice thing about this book too is because there's so many, like, different relationships happening, that it was, like, only one aspect of that is a
Mhm.
slow burn, so you didn't feel like you were just sitting there waiting for one thing to
Yeah,
happen. So, that's why I didn't even really notice it at all, but
that's good.
yeah, every single, like, main character in this is really a, like, touch her and die type of person. One of the relationships is a forbidden love one, which it's absolutely adorable. I love it. I shouldn't say adorable, but it was to me. And obviously they have, like, in their world, their families are, like, 2 different groups that they can't cross over, and
Like a Romeo and Juliet situation?
I would say that except for it's
I mean,
a
not,
lot
like,
more
quite,
complicated,
but
but yeah.
yeah. Was it like the Capulets and the Montagues?
Right. If we were going old school, yeah, that except for they're paranormal and, they definitely tried to, like, kill their own children, so
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Like,
that's giving, like, Grapes of Wrath.
like, they really don't care
Got
about
it.
their kids. It's all about power.
Kind of like the Great Gods, I feel like really gave no fucks.
Yes. Yeah,
Tracking now.
yeah. So, I really want the rest of them, but yeah, City of Lies and Legends was probably my favorite of the 3 books. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
I feel like we're starting to get more 3rd books now that are, like, really clearing that 3rd book, like, stereotypical, like,
Yeah.
hurdle. Like, they're not just, like, dull. Because like, we won't belabor Onyx Storm any further than the 3 hours we've already spent on it.
It might be more. I think it's, like, 4.
Unofficially more. But I feel like we said the same thing about that one, that, like, it's the 3rd book in a series, and typically, like, those can just, like, not feel really interesting because it's kind of the middle, but that one was also, like, so integral and fascinating. So,
Yeah.
like, I love that more of these are starting to kind of break that mold and
Well, sometimes too, when you're introduced to new characters, it's in a 3rd book,
Mhm.
it's like, "Oh, I don't wanna even hear about them." But the way that this was written, I, like, cared about their chapters. It's like when it came back to them, I'm like, "What's going on?"
Mhm.
Like, I didn't even have any of that, "Ugh, I don't wanna, like, hear their story." And that's why I know she did a really good job of making their story be important, 'cause
Yeah.
it already wasn't like, normally the first couple, you're like, "Oh god." Like, and now I have to, like, figure out who these people are and, like, why they're important, but I don't know, immediately, the main character, I was like, "Okay, tell me more." Uh, but yeah, so I read that, and, the second one, there's a lot more that goes on in the second book in City of Souls and Sinners, a lot of S. Um, that book has a lot more, like, conflict and, like, war going on in it. But it was also a really good book. I just really enjoyed the 3rd book and how it brought everyone together and brought in new viewpoints that didn't feel unnecessary. So,
Mhm.
that's why I put that one above it. Also in January, I finished, The Bonds That Tie
Oh, yeah.
Series, which I was, like, almost done with it in December, but obviously with holidays and stuff, I was like, "Whatever, I'll take a break," and maybe don't wanna read, like, a reverse harem book at home.
But,
Sometimes
I mean, I don't think you'd necessarily know that, like,
my my siblings don't really have boundaries. Like, multiple times my brother took my iPad to see what I was reading.
okay, never mind.
So I was like, excuse me." So now I just make sure when I'm at home, it's like, whatever, I don't care. So he likes to give me shit for that. So, but that one I really loved how it like the end of it. And she has a lot of bonds. Like there's a group of it's one woman and she's with 5 guys and all of them are it's more of like a mated type of situation, like a
Oh,
fave.
yeah, I remember you saying
Yeah.
that.
So by the end, you really like every single one of these guys. Like I would say in the beginning, some of them I was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna like you. And there's one that's really mysterious, so I knew I was gonna like him even though you're not supposed to like him. So, but yeah, they came together in more of like a family unit, and then they all made sense together, and it was really cute. And they actually got the life that they wanted. So it's also pretty sexy in terms of spice. Like, yeah,
Ooh.
the spice in these books towards the end, I would not say the first couple books are that way for me. But, like, the last 3 books, I feel like there was a lot more spice in them, like, more in the, like, 3.5, 4. I don't say wouldn't say it's a 5, but, like, it was still pretty spicy. And there's a lot of, like, different moments. Apparently, she also needs, like, to have sex with her bond sometimes to heal herself.
Well, I think I remember you saying
Yeah.
that, yeah, before
Like,
too.
sometimes it's like, "Oh, I love that you found a way to make sex necessary for this plot. Good for you." But yeah, my cousin was reading these books too, so it was fun to be able to talk to her about them.
How far is she, like, into
Or she
the
finished them before I did, and she
Oh.
was like, "Keely, you should read these." So I was like, "Well, obviously, if you are, I will read them." So, thanks, Amy. Um, and then I don't think we're in January, the only other book that I read was Onyx Storm, and then I completely fell apart, so anyways, um, do you wanna talk about your January?
Sure. I feel like obviously Onyx Storm is in there, and then to prep for that, I reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. But I did plan my reread a little better than when I did that for Crescent City. So I was not starting Onyx Storm at 1 in the morning. So again, we've like really discussed those at length. So just skipping those. And then for my Trace Pina's book club, we always read like not like self-help books, but just books that, like, are kind of meant to, like, cause reflection or introspection or, like, help you grow in some way. So, we were reading Beyond Grit by, Sindra Kamphoff, and I started it in January, finished it this month just because like, it is, like, nonfiction, I guess, so it just, like, takes a little bit longer to get through. But she is a PhD. She's actually worked with the Minnesota Vikings, and, like, other
That's
ath
cool.
Yeah, it was super cool because the foreword was by someone from the Vikings, and so it's just, like, really cool seeing, like, blips of, like, Minnesota in there because she also has, like, each so there's, like, 10 sections because there's, like, 10, like, tactics, I guess she has, um, to help you, like, become, like, a grittier person to, like, grow and, like, be the best you can be, whether it's in sports or professional life or just, like, whatever, like, all of her tactics, she had anecdotes from different athletes, but she would also tie in, like, if you wanna be, like, a CEO or, like, you're giving a presentation, so it was kind of nice that it wasn't just like, it didn't feel like you have to, like, be sports or, like, an athlete to, like, apply these things.
Also, I love that you went for variety. I'm very proud of you.
Well, one of my goals this year for myself was to participate more in this book club because I was in it last year. I never read a single book, like barely talked in the chat. So by default, I'm already doing really well because even just like buying this book, I was like, I'm already ahead of last year. But they have started like a second book and I need to purchase that. I did take the like quiz in the workbook though. It's about like self-image. Um,
Oh, fun.
yeah,
I like doing kind of like self-image work. Like, are you supposed to figure out, like, how you view yourself or, like, what's
it's more about, like, how important, like, you like, looks and, like,
Oh,
body
okay,
image is to you. So I guess
okay,
self-image was wrong. It's, like,
okay.
body image.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So I need to start it from the chat. Like, it sounds like people who have started it so far have, like, very different perspectives on it based on their relationship with body image from, like, their own personal histories. So it's kind of interesting. There's a couple of people who have more of like, I think, a neutral body image relationship with themselves. I won't say anyone like has a positive one, but there are some people who are like, I'm a little bit more indifferent, but it's like taken them a little bit to get there too. But so just seeing the reactions to this next book that I, again, like still need to like download and read, but um it's like interesting seeing other people's struggles, which is like kind of the nice thing, like with the group chat that we have, like for this, like everyone is like very open and vulnerable with like things that they say. So there is like a lot of like trust and like a sense of community in the chat, which is why I like really love that book club. So I was like, I need to be better.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like you could get a lot of variety of people when it comes to like body image. I mean, we've all gone through different aspects and people have had very different struggles with it. So that is kind of a strong topic to even talk about. So,
Well, we do vote kind of similar to how we did like our workbook club. So the gal that leads it, she finds like 4 books and she'll put them in the chat and then people like vote. So like I don't vote, but other people voted and like this was the book that was the winner. But it is interesting because obviously it's like a triathlon based community. So there has been some interesting discussion about how in some regards triathlon is actually one of, I think, the more body positive is strong, but more, I think, like inclusive sports.
yeah, I would definitely say
Like,
inclusive, like where they are supportive of all different types of people, or like what do you mean? And
I
when you
think
say,
you'll just see more body types represented.
okay,
I don't know if I'd really say like it's something they try to do and that they're like necessarily supportive of it. I think it's a sport where you don't, in the non-professional category, I should say, because all of the pros are very much like skinny, 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 like very fit, very healthy, but like,
because they're prepping their body for it like all the time.
yes,
Yeah.
like literally professionals. But in the age group divisions, like you see so many variety types, and they do actually have a division that they call, I think it's like Athena. I don't remember what the like male version is, but it's basically like a plus size. Like you have to be over a certain weight threshold, and they have one for men and one for women. That if you are over that, you could be in your own division if you don't want to be in the age group. But I think a lot of people still did age group because like I was passed by people bigger than me many a time. So like it is interesting because it is like one of the few sports that I see where I feel like your body type isn't necessarily indicative of like how well you're going to perform because
Right.
there were really fit looking people who would finish last and vice versa. So it's just been like a really interesting conversation. So I'll talk about that book, I guess, in our next month recap because I'll have read it because I keep doing well with this. But that was like a very long-winded way to say Beyond Grit was like very much not something to read. But it has been really interesting reading it, especially because some of the tactics, I feel like are almost things that people push now on like TikTok. They've just kind of reframed it in more of a romanticized way because she'll talk about like setting routines or like making a vision board, but she calls it like your grit board. And I don't remember, like, there were a couple of other examples too that I kind of like spotted where I was like, oh, I feel like people said this in like the context of like have a glow up or like how to set your year up for success. So it also is just interesting to see that some of these things are very much tried and true. Like clearly they like work for people and resonate with people. It's just kind of how you like package it up and like push it out.
Make it more feminine. I feel like the words we use for most of those things is being like, you're having girly time. This is your girly time to do these things that anyone can do. But I'm glad that you got some of that variety and that you're going to continue to read those books.
Yes. I'm very proud of myself for that so far. And then I rounded out January starting the Red Rising series because I was like, I genuinely need to start this series. So I made it through the first 2.5 books. So Red Rising was the first one, Golden Sun was the second one, and then I started Morning Star. Have yet to finish Morning Star.
Oh, you didn't read it in February?
I've read 100 more pages this month, but I have like 300 to go.
How long is it?
On the iPad, in total, it's 487 pages, so it might be, like, just under this one did get big finally, like,
Because you were saying all the other ones
the
were.
first 2 were so short
Yeah.
compared to I don't know, I guess I just thought they were all really hefty, but the first 2 were definitely shorter, and I, like, flew through them. Um, and there's, I think, 6 in total technically, because it's kind of like 2 trilogies that, like, smashed together to make the full thing. So you'll be curious how this one ends to see if, like, you could kind of just read the 3 and be done in a way, or if, like, truly you do need all of them. And I I meant to reach out to there was someone else that I know who started this series, and initially, she and I had been messaging. She was like, "I don't really get the hype." And I was like, "Okay, same," because I, like
I wonder if you'll feel differently as soon as you finish Morningstar. Like, it's gonna be one of those things where all of a sudden you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this was such a great way to, like, end this part of it." Because I have heard that the first 3 are, like, a main trilogy, and then the other one's built off of it, right?
I'm not sure. I was trying not to, like, do too much research because I didn't wanna accidentally spoil something for myself because I did want to, like, actually just, like,
Fair.
read this like a normal human. But I like Red Rising was so good. So I was super excited for the second book. And the first little part of the second book, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, where are we going? Like, how is this all going to play out? And then it kind of felt like there was an event that happened, which, like, everything up until then, I was like, oh my God, this series is like so great. And then it kind of like reset. And I was like, I feel like we've now gone back to the beginning.
That's tough.
And like,
So it felt, like, repetitive where you were doing the same story again.
yeah, like, I felt like he had to, like, relearn all the same, like, arcs and builds that he did the first book and, like, relearn these lessons, and so I was just kind of like, "This is frustrating." So, I will say I've gotten a little bit more into Morningstar and, like, maybe because I took some time away from the first 2, I was, like, a little bit more invigorated to come back to this. But Pierce Brown, who's the author, who also someone posted on TikTok.
Attractive?
Yes, is a
So
babe.
attractive. I started following him on Instagram. I was like, "Okay, please talk to me." It showed up on one of my TikToks, and I was like, "Excuse me?"
Was it the one where the girl was like, "Who knew the author of Red Rising was like so"
Yeah.
yeah, I think I got the same one, and I was like, "Okay, Pierce."
So,
So
yeah, now I follow him.
so, but he is a very compelling author. I will say that, like, even though, like, the actual story itself, I got, like, a little annoyed at, like, seemingly the plot reset. Like, even now with Morningstar, like, the front of it, I'm a little like, I don't love the plot, but I just, like, feel compelled to keep reading because his writing is so good and, like, the images and, like, visions he's able to produce are so good. So, like, that more than anything is kind of, like, keeping me going. Although the plot is now, like, picking back up, but I'm kind of like, "Okay, am I gonna get bamboozled again? Like, is something gonna happen and we're gonna, like, take 3 steps back?" Because so I hope it doesn't.
I think it's going to. I think it'll be good.
I hope so. So I'll keep you posted, but I am hopefully gonna knock I mean, I'll probably try and finish it, like, by Friday, but, so far, like, not finished. So that was my January's, like, really heavy, actually.
Your January? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine? No.
yeah. And then I made up for it by reliving a light February. Well, I guess Iron and Embers, which again, we did a whole episode, so I won't talk about that, but I read that, which was, like, not a small book.
No, that's a pretty big book.
Uh,
And you finished one of your other books, and you've
yeah.
read a few others. I'll let you do your list first for February.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I think to compensate for all of the like brain power I had to use for reading, I just like overcorrected and I was like, I want no brain power. So I read 3 sport romance books.
Love it. Amazing. I love that. I mean, let's see. Clearly they were hockey.
They were all hockey because I really love like a good hockey player romance, especially because I feel like last summer I did like a football. But like hockey's really like I loved Icebreaker for that reason. So I was looking for hockey. And I think I said it on our last episode. It's so annoying because like 95% of these are only on Kindle. So I feel like I get teased
I'm
about
sorry.
it's so frustrating. So I will take what I can get. So I read 2 by Kelsey Ray. There's 4 in the series, but it's one of those where like each book is about a different person. And I just like kind of didn't care about 2 of the other people for sure. So I did not read all 4, but I read the 2. And the first one is called Don't Let Me Fall. That's the primary one. So like the first one and also where you meet like the whole gang. Um, it's obviously about a college hockey player. But he's also like kind of the bad boy. Like he's very like dark and mysterious.
I
Um,
love a bad boy.
yeah, he has a motorcycle. And
Ooh.
no, sorry, no motorcycle. He has a truck.
I don't like trucks.
Well,
Well, it depends on the person with the truck,
I'm just like
but
not date this guy then.
right, because he exists.
Yeah, he's so real. So it was like him and then like kind of like the good girl of campus. And she is with like a golden retriever boyfriend. There's like scenes of infidelity because he's also on the hockey team. So it's about just like that. It was cute. Like there's like a little bit of plot. Like he has some stuff to sort through because like his dad passed away like pre-story. That's like not a spoiler. So it's just kind of like working through some of that. Like whatnot.
I was gonna say, does he have a dad who doesn't support him, or does he have a dad?
He has no dad.
So sad.
No dad, but he has a very lovely mother
Oh, good.
and sisters because the second book, Don't Let Me Break, is about his sister. So then that one is like the sister and then like the longtime childhood friend turned love interest. And that kind of leans more into like the misconception trope because shocker, he's also on the hockey team. So
What a shock.
weird.
I love it.
He has like the playboy reputation, like he'll only sleep with you once. So like, um, I don't feel like this is a spoiler because it happens like super early on. They obviously sleep together, but she has the mindset of like Theo/Teddy, like would never be interested in more. Like he's a one-time only guy. Like, and I got it out of my system. Obviously not.
I really love that trope in a way because you're always like, you know what's gonna happen. Like you know that that girl's gonna be like, oh, but it's like watching Hallmark movies. Like you know what's gonna happen, but you're like, I'm still gonna watch this.
Yeah, it was pretty predictable, but like it was cute. Like I loved the sister. She was very much like a Spitfire character. Like works out. Like she was hysterical.
Was
So
she kind of sassy?
mhm,
Love it.
very sassy. She grew up with like brothers, so then she's living with like female college girls. So also it was just fun to see her like understand female friendships and like make some and like come into her own, as it were.
I love that she's like the girl that's like, I just don't know how to be friends with girls.
It wasn't like so much that as she just was like, oh, it's like weird to have like she had never really cared about like dressing up or like doing makeup or whatever. So she was just like, oh, like this is kind of nice. Like they're helping me like look glam and like just kind of learning how to be girly, I guess, in a way, and feeling like that's okay and it like embracing it only for like the parties.
Cute. And I'm sure she stood out. Good for her.
Well, of course, Teddy, the childhood friend, had never seen her in like makeup, like short dresses, and was all like, you need to put some clothes on.
Love it.
Also one of my favorites.
Very protective. We love a protective
Yes.
guy.
So that was those two books that were connected. And then because I didn't get enough hockey from that, I also read Body Check by Elle Kennedy, which I think is literally the only book of hers that is on Apple. So I was like,
I
snap.
see them all the time on Kindle. I'm sorry.
I'm already aware you don't need to rub it in. Thank you so much. And that one is like kind of like Forbidden Love in a sense because it's about the hockey coach's daughter and then like the star hockey player.
Amazing. I love
Um,
that.
and like their trials and tribulations. And then there's like a whole scandal with the hockey team and her dad. Like it was insane. And
Wait, what happened? Like, why is her dad part of a scandal? I mean, is it going to give away plot? Like, is the scandal about something to do with hockey, or is it a scandal that's more like personal?
oh my gosh, sorry. It's not the hockey coach's daughter. He owns the team.
Okay.
He owns the team, but is like super involved because he used to be like a coach. Like she grew up in the hockey world because like he was always like into hockey. He owns the team. And yes, there are rumors that he rigged a couple of their games because he bet on them. Yeah, and I don't want to say more than that because who knows if it's true or not.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, wait, how is there like a scandal? I was assuming it could be personal, but I don't know.
There was technically like he was also accused of like cheating on his like second wife that I don't really remember if they ever like fully confirmed that or not because I feel like the bribery like game rigging was more critical to like troubleshoot. But there is like strife between the daughter and the dad because she's just like I feel like he prioritizes hockey over me. He also like low key develops like a drinking problem. So there's just like a lot of like personal things plus the like scandal with the hockey team. And then of course she's all like, I don't date hockey players, like blah blah blah. And he's like, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
That's so good. I bet I would love that.
It was like really good because honestly, it wasn't like there was enough spice that it's, like it's not nothing. But like I also spent half the book trying to figure out like if the rumors were true and then if they were, like which hockey players were in on it. Cause that was part of it too, was like, okay, let's say like these rumors are true and you rigged the games, then you would have had to have involved some of the players who knew to throw the game to lose. So then it was like, who is it? And I was convinced on who maybe it was. And then I don't know. So it was actually like kind of good.
It sounds like it had an actual side plot. Like there's a lot going on besides the romance, if that was everything else that you just told me.
Yes, because then also there's the like the second wife and like she's made out to be like a bitch because she's divorcing the dad. So then it's like a whole thing. But that like there was a lot of material that happened in this book that honestly I was like not really even reading it for spice after a certain point because I was like, whoa, like is the stuff like is she a bitch? Like I don't know. Like and then there's
This
like
is
a
like
friend.
daytime TV that my mom watched. This is like Telenova or like a soap opera or
Yes.
something.
It was like really intense. So it was really good. If you need like a fluffy, like it's not like fully a thinker. Like I didn't apply a lot of like brain cells to it, but it was like captivating.
Okay. I every book that I have for the next month, I'm trying to stay away from romance, but I'll come back.
It was like a quick one if you just like needed a quick break, like in between whatever you're reading. Or
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
That was all the books I've read so far this year, which like somehow didn't feel a lot in my brain, but like talking about it, writing it out, I'm like, it's not a lot.
Yeah, I felt the same way where I was like, oh gosh, I'm so behind on my reading goals. Like that's even a thing that could actually happen. But I think it's because well, when we did a couple of like bigger episodes on some of the books we read. So even thinking of those, I was like, oh, I think of them like outside of the list. So we had like Iron and Embers. That was also on my February. But then I already mentioned all of it because we got too excited about some of the tropes in it.
I also love that on Iron and Embers, you still wrote by Helen Shoira. Like, we don't know that
I know.
internally.
I think I keep doing it so I learn how to spell her last name because there's a lot of E's in it, but also I kind of just start writing Helen and now it just happens. It's just how it goes.
Amazing.
But then after I read Lies and Legends in the House of Devil series, which was a great book for me to have right after Onyx Storm, I I obviously then read Iron and Embers, but then I was like, I don't know what to read and I don't want to read anything. And so I just like looked around on Kindle Unlimited for like shorter stories. And this one's like a little bit younger, like new adult. Like she's definitely like 18, the main character in this, but it is a reverse harem again. But this one is much more chill. Like there isn't as much spice. I'm only gone through book 4 and there's 8 of them in total, but they're really short. So I was like, okay. Um, but it's just like cute and has like the CW feel to it. It's like all of those shows I used to watch where it's just like, oh, these are so like adorable and
Cute.
yeah, like I absolutely love um it just made me feel like also they have mentions of things like Teen Wolf and things in it. So the author, I looked her up. She's actually just like an indie author, but she is Gray Holborn, I think is how you say it. But she's actually a teacher and is a student and teacher and just writes these books like on her time off. So she's, seems like pretty relatable and everything that she puts on here. I'm like, okay, like I could do this. But the one thing is, if you are looking for a reverse harem that like is going to be spicy, I would not go to this book. I went to it because I needed a break from spice and I just wanted to read about a girl trying to figure out her life. It's like, sure, whatever. I could read
Real.
that. Like, yeah, be 18 again. And like, she starts out the book. So she was adopted. Her and her brother were adopted by this guy who's actually a protector. It's all paranormal again. And so they like live in this cabin in the woods and are deserted by everyone else. And he's just teaching them how to like, he's one of the best protectors. So he's like teaching them all of these tricks. And then there is something that happens where she's on her literal first, I guess you can call it date. Like she gets to go into town every once in a while. Oh, feels like she's like stuck, but she's not. Like she goes into town with her brother and they meet these like guys and she's like having her first kiss and then she gets attacked by a werewolf. And as soon as that happens, then they have to go to the guild and that's where everything happens where she's like brought into this whole world and learns what being a protector means and is like trying to figure everything out. And so of course from there she like meets all these different characters and of course my favorite one is the one that's probably the most problematic, but it's fun to read. And yeah, I still have half of them left, but it's nice because I don't feel like I have to keep reading them. I was like, I could stop and read things in between and then keep going from there.
I was
But
gonna say, so are you gonna like take a break to do your like physical TBR, or are you gonna like
yeah,
finish?
I'm either going to take a break or have them be like sprinkled in between, depending on like how fast I read my actual TBR. So we'll see. Because they're easy to read like right before bed. My actual books, and like I sometimes just like having my iPad when I'm going to sleep. So that's probably what I'll do.
I'm familiar with that move.
Yeah. And that's all. That's all I have. Um,
Well, it wasn't a light month.
no, I guess when I say like 4 books and don't like go into detail about all of them, but there really isn't too much to say like differently throughout all of them. Other than I can tell that even her writing gets better as she goes on, which is nice to even see for her, like, especially small, like, if you're writing for fun, you just want to get these books out there. Of course, I was like, I can be your editor because I like catch every little error because I'm a weirdo. But
I mean, same. I'm always like this is spelled wrong. Like, I just fixed a spelling
Which
mistake
then I'm
on
like,
the
should I
Google
change my
Doc.
career to be an editor because I read so many books?
I
And I
mean,
feel like we already kinda do that sometimes in our job where you're, like, looking at stuff, you're like, "Oh, that's
I am the first
incorrect."
one if, like, we are on, like, if a client is briefing us or something, I will, like, message people on the side. I'll be like, "They spelled this word wrong." Like, we were in a pre-brief a couple weeks ago, and they used the wrong aisle, and I, like, immediately messaged someone. I was like, "This is wrong."
I also really love the, like, double standard of it where sometimes I'm like, "Why do you get to have so many errors? If I had one, I would be, like, cringing."
I don't I don't think it, like, matter like, but it's, like, a personal thing. Like, I am, like, so mortified if I send something with, like, the wrong, like, spelling or,
Yes.
like, I've, like, messed something up. Like, I
I mean, we've talked about this before, but especially with people's names
okay,
because of our
yes,
names, but yeah.
that's, like, a whole different thing, but if I send something with, like, a word spelled wrong, just, like, a non-name word, I'm always like, I'm like, "Take it back," which, like, you can't take an email back, but I make sure in, like, presentation and stuff because I'm just like, "Nope, not on my watch." Like, absolutely not. Like, sometimes even the copywriters miss stuff, and I'm like, "This is literally your job,"
Right.
or, like, is supposed to
Then
be.
I also think about it, I'm like,
I guess
it's kinda like when with what I think with authors where I'm like, you also looked at these pages how many times? And, like, I get it. So, I kinda give grace, but
yes and no, because I feel like now with our review process, like, we review things and then it kinda goes away for a little bit, and then you review it again, so I'm like,
oh, that's true because you got a break from it and, like, you kinda come back, yeah.
"Yeah."
'Cause I even catch that with my stuff sometimes when I have a break, I'll go back and be like, "Oh, that was awful. I must have been at, like, 4 PM."
Yeah, depending on the day, like, end of day me is, like, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Other times, she is, like, crushing it, but it kinda just depends, but